Okay, so you're staring at your social media profile, right? Maybe just a few followers, and you get that little nudge, that temptation for paid ads, just, a quick boost to get things moving.
Oh, absolutely. It's a super common thought. You see other accounts just boom, take off, seemingly overnight. And the organic route feels, well, kind of slow, maybe even a bit hopeless sometimes.
Totally get
Yeah.
that. But what if that slow path is actually building something way more solid? Something that, creates real connections, turns followers into actual fans, and doesn't mean emptying your wallet.
Right.
That's really the focus for this deep dive. We're digging into a blueprint, a guide really, on how to get significant social media growth, specifically hitting that big first milestone, your first 1,000 followers, purely organically. No ad spend.
And the guide we're looking at makes a strong case that this organic way isn't just like the cheap option. It's actually the bedrock for real lasting success. It tends to lead to higher engagement, a proper community feel. It's framed as the best investment for your brand's future, truly.
Exactly. And it's not like this just happens by accident, right?
Yeah.
It's intentional. It's a strategic process that needs, well, creativity and some grit. We're going to unpack the key stuff from this guide.
Hmm.
And interestingly, speaking of speeding things up a bit, the source does point out that while the effort is organic, there are resources that can help amplify it. It actually mentions rapidboost.net. It says it's a proven platform with tools specifically designed to boost profiles and unlock that organic growth faster, hinting you with real engaged followers, none of the bots or sketchy shortcuts.
Ah, interesting. So tools to enhance the organic push.
Yeah, seems like it.
Got
So,
it.
okay, get ready. We're laying out the proven strategies, the step-by-step tactics from this guide, how to earn those first 1,000 followers, one real connection after another.
Let's do it.
All right, let's jump into this blueprint. Starting at the very beginning, the foundation, getting your profile absolutely right.
Yeah, the source is really clear on this. Your profile is basically your digital shop window. You've got, what, seconds for someone scrolling to decide if they're going to stick around or not. First impressions are, well, everything.
Okay, so critical stuff. How does the guide say we should make that shop window like totally magnetic? What are the absolute must-haves?
It starts with the basics. Your profile picture and your handle. The picture needs to be high res, easily recognizable even when it's tiny on a phone. And the handle needs to be easy to spell, memorable, ideally the same, everywhere you are online. Keep it simple for people to find you and remember you.
Makes sense. Simple but easy to mess up.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the bio? That little space that has to do so much heavy lifting.
That's where you got to hook them fast. The guide really emphasizes grabbing interest in just like seconds. Don't just say, I'm a coach. Explain who you are, what specifically you do, and crucially, give them the why. Why should they stop scrolling and follow you? Weave in personality, keywords people might search for, maybe an emoji if it fits, making you.
I like that. It's not just a list. It's about sparking that curiosity, that connection. What about pinned content? Where does that fit in?
Pinned content is your prime real estate. Use it to show off your absolute best stuff right at the top. Maybe it's your highest performing post or a video that explains what you're about or just something that screams, this is my vibe, this is the value you get. Like putting your bestseller right in the front window.
Right, front and center. Good call. And the links. People stuff all sorts in their bio.
Optimize them
Sure.
ruthlessly. The guide suggests using one of those link in bio services instead of just, one random link. Make it a smooth gateway to your site, your newsletter, other socials, wherever you want them to go next. Less friction, always better.
Feels like a really solid checklist. Does the blueprint give like a real example of this working?
It does, yeah. A mini case study about Samantha, a travel blogger. She changed her pic to a bright headshot, made her bio super specific, budget travel for adventurous families, and pinned some funny reels about travel fails. According to the guide, just tweaking the profile like that doubled her engagement, helped her get past that initial follower hurdle much faster.
Wow. Okay, so just that foundation work can make a huge difference. Profile sorted. What's the engine then? What drives the growth once the window looks appealing?
That's what the source calls the core: content and consistency. And the principle it lays out is, well, it's a classic, but it's true. Content is king, consistency is emperor. You need great content, sure, but it needs to show up regularly.
So it's not just posting whenever you feel like it. There's a strategy.
Oh, absolutely. It's got to be intentional. Substance and strategy aimed right at serving the people you want to reach.
Okay, how do we figure out that strategy according to this guide?
It kicks off with defining your niche and finding your unique voice. The blueprint warns against trying to be everything to everyone. You'll just end up bland and attracting nobody special. Find that sweet spot,
Mhm.
you know, where your passion and expertise meet what your audience actually needs or wants. Are
Um,
you the witty marketing pro, the tough love fitness coach, the empathetic storyteller? Find that authentic voice and really own it.
Find your lane and stick to it. Got it. And then how do you handle the consistency part without just burning out completely?
The guide is big on using a content calendar. Doesn't have to be fancy, Google Sheets, Notion, whatever works.
Yeah.
Just map out your ideas beforehand. Plan a mix, right? Carousels for tips, stories for behind the scenes, short videos, maybe a relatable meme if that fits your style. Planning just takes away that daily arc, what do I post, panic.
Yeah, that alone makes a massive difference for momentum. What about the 80-20 rule? Does that come up?
It does, yeah. The recommendation is aim for about 80% of your stuff to educate, entertain, or inspire your audience. Give tons of value. Only around 20% should be directly promotional, talking about yourself, your products, your services. Keep the focus mostly on giving.
And the pressure to make everything perfect. You see these super polished accounts.
The source tackles that head on. Quality matters. Yes, decent lighting, clear audio if it's video, but don't let perfectionism stop you. Especially early on, something raw and authentic can actually build way more trust than something overly polished that feels, I don't know, distant or fake. Done is often better than perfect, as long as it's still good.
That's really good advice. What about trends? Should we be jumping on every viral sound or challenge?
Leverage them strategically. That's the key word the guide uses. Only hop on a trend if it genuinely feels like you and it fits your message. Don't shoehorn it in. Your audience can usually tell, and it can just dilute what makes you unique.
Any examples in the guide of this content and consistency thing really paying off?
Yep, there's Amir, a food creator. He committed to making these 30-second meal makeover videos every single day on Instagram Reels. He used this distinct, vibrant orange color palette consistently. And within about 4 weeks of this steady, strategic posting, his Reels started hitting the Explore page pretty regularly. The guide says this visibility boost took him from around 500 followers to over 1,000 in just 2 weeks. That daily, distinctive effort really worked.
Wow, that's serious proof that consistency plus quality plus like a unique angle really moves the needle. Okay, profile's good, content's flowing. What's the next big piece?
Okay, so now we shift gears a bit, from just getting attention to actually keeping it and amplifying it. This is what the source calls the engine, engagement and community. And the key point is that the platforms themselves actually prefer creators who build real interaction. It keeps people on the platform longer.
Right, so it's not just posting at people, it's building relationships with them. How do we do that effectively?
It takes conscious effort. The first tactic the guide mentions is like non-negotiable, especially when you're starting. Reply to every comment in DM. Thank people. Ask them questions back. Show you're actually listening and you value their input. These little chats are the foundation of community.
That personal touch, yeah, makes a difference. What about engaging off your own page?
Super important. Go comment authentically on other accounts in your niche, not just, a fire emoji. Leave thoughtful comments. Add to the conversation. It introduces you to relevant audiences in a really natural, non-pushy way. Shows you're part of the wider conversation.
And things like going live.
Definitely. Host live streams, Q&As, use polls in your stories. These things humanize you like crazy. People connect with real people in real time. Even small live sessions can make your early fans feel special and encourage them to invite others.
Collaborating with other creators feels like a smart way to expand reach, too.
It's huge. The guide suggests reaching out to other creators who are also growing, maybe around the same size as you, not necessarily massive influencers right away. Find peers, do shout-outs for each other, create something together, swap story takeovers for a day. You're basically cross-pollinating audiences in a way that feels like a genuine recommendation.
Nice. And are there any, like, low-effort ways to get your audience involved?
Yeah, run micro-challenges or simple contests, something with a low barrier to entry, like share your workspace, using #MyDeskSetup, and features some favorites. It encourages people to create content for you, gets active users involved, and they often bring their own followers over to check out their feature.
The source mentioned some data about this, didn't it? How engagement impacts results.
It did, yeah. It cited a Sprout social survey from 2023, found that accounts that actively engage with followers saw, get this, 42% higher follower retention and double the average organic reach compared to accounts that just post and ghost, post something and then disappear.
Wow, double the reach.
Yeah. The data basically confirms it. Engagement is the fuel for the engine.
Okay, so we've got the shop window looking great, profile, the shelves stocked, content consistency, and the customer service is amazing. Engagement community. How do people actually find the shop organically in the first place?
Right, that brings us to visibility, discovery features and algorithms.
Yeah.
Every platform has ways for users to find new stuff, and the blueprint talks about how to leverage those intentionally.
Hashtags seem like the most obvious one. What's the guide's advice on using them well?
It's not just about jamming in the most popular tags. The guide recommends using a mix. Some really specific niche tags, some mid-size ones, maybe even create your own branded tag. The key is using tags that accurately describe your post, your target audience, and maybe your unique spin on the topic.
Yeah.
Think, what would someone actually search for to find this?
So it's strategic and specific, not just volume. Got it. What about optimizing for like the search bar within the apps?
Use keywords smartly, beyond just hashtags. Put relevant keywords in your bio and in your captions terms. People might actually type into the search bar. The guide gives an example like, use vegan recipes Chicago, if that's your thing, not just a generic foodie. And for video platforms like YouTube or TikTok, think about descriptive titles and keyword-rich descriptions too.
Geotagging.
Yeah.
Feels kind of specific. Is it really that helpful for discovery?
It can be incredibly powerful, yeah, especially if your content or business relates to a physical place or local area. Tagging events you attend, local businesses you visit, even just scenic spots can get your stuff seen by people actively looking for things in that specific location.
And does posting time still matter?
It does. The guide says experiment, but also dive into your analytics. See when your specific audience is actually online and active. Post when they're most likely to see it, and, importantly, engage with it.
Repurposing content seems like just an efficiency thing, but does it help discovery too?
Oh, massively. Take your best stuff and adapt it for different platforms. A great TikTok can become an Instagram reel. A long Twitter thread could be reworked for LinkedIn. Embed video clips in blog posts. Each platform has its own discovery engine and audience. Repurposing just opens up more doors for people to find you on networks they prefer.
There was a hot tip in the guide too about getting quick visibility boosts.
Ah, yeah, the hot tip. Jump into relevant trending conversations strategically, maybe live tweeting a big industry event or using a timely meme format if it genuinely fits your brand's voice. This can expose your content to huge audiences following those specific topics or hashtags. If your take resonates, you can see a real spike in followers.
And there was a results snapshot for this visibility part.
Yeah, the blueprint talks about a local coffee shop in Portland. They were really consistent with geotagging their shop and local events they participated in. They tagged other local businesses they worked with, and they featured photos taken by customers in their shop user-generated content, with permission, obviously. This really focused local strategy apparently doubled their Instagram following in 3 months because they became super discoverable to the people right there in their community.
That example really drives home how that targeted visibility can work. And it probably builds trust too, which I think is the next piece the guide covers.
Exactly. Spot on. The credibility.
Yeah.
Building social proof and trust. People tend to follow accounts that look, real, active, and like other people value them. And the key insight here is you don't need to be huge already to start building this.
So how does the blueprint say we can build that trust, especially early on?
First off, showcase testimonials and wins. Share positive comments from DMs. Maybe anonymize them if you need to. Post customer reviews. Share little case studies of how you helped someone. It creates social proof, right? If others are getting value, it makes new people think, okay, maybe this is worth following. It signals you're legit.
And highlighting engagement fits here too.
Definitely. Celebrate milestones. Even hitting your first 100 followers. Publicly thank your early supporters. Maybe feature a really insightful comment someone left with their permission, of course. It shows you appreciate your community, shows that interaction is happening, and it kind of motivates others to join in.
A consistent brand look and feel must build trust over time as well.
Absolutely critical. Keep your visuals and your tone consistent across your profile, your stories, your grid posts, your videos. Consistent colors, fonts, writing style. It creates a recognizable presence. People trust what they recognize and know what to expect from. It builds familiarity.
And showing the actual person behind the account.
The guide really pushes for showing behind-the-scenes stuff and even some vulnerability. Transparency is surprisingly magnetic online. Share your process, admit when things are challenging, talk about lessons learned. People connect way more deeply with real humans, flaws and all, not just a perfectly polished front. Builds empathy. builds loyalty.
There was a quick case study about that vulnerability point, wasn't there?
Yeah, Alex, a software educator, he posted about feeling really nervous before doing his first ever live video, just being honest about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that post apparently resonated hugely, went kind of mini viral within his niche, got tons of supportive comments, and brought in something like 130 new followers in just one day. Sharing that relatable struggle built instant connection and trust.
That's such a powerful example of how just being real can actually pay off. Okay, so we've walked through all these key pieces from the blueprint. What's the guide's advice for actually, doing it all? Knowing it is one thing.
Right, execution is key. The blueprint suggests tackling it with a focused approach, structuring it like a 28-day sprint to really implement these strategies actively.
Ooh, a 4-week plan to kickstart things. What does that look like, roughly?
The structure they propose is basically, week 1 is profile overhaul and content foundation. Really dedicate time to auditing and tweaking your profile based on everything we discussed. Map out a basic content calendar for the next few weeks and do some solid hashtag research.
Okay, getting the base solid first.
Exactly. Then week 2 is consistent posting and micro-engagement. Start publishing that content you planned, stick to your schedule, and crucially, spend maybe 15-20 minutes every day actively engaging elsewhere, leaving those thoughtful comments on other relevant accounts. Try out stories, maybe a short video format.
Practicing what you preach on engagement.
For sure. Week 3 is collaborations and challenges. Start reaching out to a few other creators in your space about potential collabs. Launch a simple poll or a question sticker or little micro challenge for your own audience, and make sure to feature the responses. Share community content if people are creating it.
Building outwards and getting people involved.
Right. And then finally, week 4 is analytics and amplification. Take a look at your platform's analytics. What posts work best? Which hashtags seem to drive engagement? Which engagement tactics got responses? Double down on what's clearly working. And, importantly, celebrate the wins, even the small ones.
Breaking it down like that makes it feel much less overwhelming than just go grow your account.
It really does. And the blueprint keeps coming back to those core ingredients: consistency, creativity, and real focus on building community. Those are your ace cards, basically. Schedule the time, track what you're doing, and keep tweaking based on your own results.
So the big takeaway here is that building that loyal, engaged audience organically, it's totally doable. It might feel slower sometimes compared to just, paying for ads.
But this deep dive really shows it builds something way more sustainable and ultimately more valuable. It's about making those real, authentic connections, follower by follower.
By focusing on making your profile magnetic, creating valuable stuff consistently, actively engaging, using those discovery tools smartly, and building trust.
You're not just collecting numbers, you're actually building a genuine movement around what you care about, powered by, as the blueprint puts it, clarity, consistency, and community.
Yeah. Your first 1,000 followers aren't some impossible dream. They're absolutely achievable if you apply these strategies, and honestly, that's just the start of a really exciting journey.
Start putting it into practice today. Stay consistent. Those connections you build the right way, those are the ones that stick around.
And maybe leave you with this thought. By building this engaged community organically, you're not just getting followers, you're potentially sparking a real movement around what you do. So how can you start fostering that sense of movement, starting right now?